Hi, this is Michael Monroe from a Better Complete Development engineering firm. Today we're going to demonstrate the 10 steps to obfuscate LabVIEW code. We will describe each step and demonstrate it on a working project. Here are the 10 steps. We'll start by finding all the descriptions and then remove them. Then we'll rename all the controls to sequential numbers. Then rename all the VIs to sequential numbers. We'll rename all of the terminals so they're not descriptive. We'll hide all the terminals by making them optional. We'll hide front panel controls on each VI, so if you open the VI, you won't see anything. We'll replace the icon in every VI so they're not descriptive. We will remove any history text. We will reset the revision. And finally, reset all of the dates. You may ask why you'd want to do this. My example is a utility that I sell on the Tools Network. I will be disabling a couple features and making it available for free on the Tools Network. This version will not contain any licensing or activation, just password protection, so I want to protect my code. My project has over 500 items and will complete this task in about 12 minutes. Before we start, there's a couple issues that need to be addressed. All dialog and user VIs have been tagged for exclusion. I've done this in advance. Front panel VIs need to remain in memory, so any sub-VIs that are renamed will be propagated up. Dynamically called classes, we cannot rename the VIs, rename the controls, or hide the dynamic terminals. And all classes, we can't hide required terminals. This is my project I want to obfuscate. This is Property Inspector 3, which will be released as a free version in the LabVIEW Tools Network. Here's the front panel, which I'm going to keep open, keep all sub-VIs in memory. To perform this operation, I'm going to use Property Inspector. This is going to load the project that's already open in memory. It's going to scan all 522 items in the project and return 42 properties that I can filter, search, and sort by. I have 403 items displayed because some are filtered out. So first, I'm going to perform a global exclusion to get rid of the VIs I don't want to modify. I've tagged those VIs in advance. There's 403 items, and we just lost 10 of them. So first, we're going to find descriptions that are not blank. Search in those results. So here I have 28 items. 1 library, standard VIs, 3 controls. So I'm going to edit mode, remove, select all, and edit selected. This will open each VI, remove the description, save it, and close it. 5.5 seconds. Now I'm going to go back to the history and repeat my global exclusion, which takes me back exactly where I was. Now before I start renaming the VIs, I need to get rid of all these items that I can't modify, like the classes, class private data. So let's go to the settings, and I can turn off objects by type and get rid of the libraries, the classes, property definitions, class private data. I only want the standard VIs, controls, and there's 1 global. Here I have 299 items left. Now before I go renaming VIs, I'm going to do something sneaky, and I'm going to hide the item name. That won't be obvious what the original name is when I modify it. Now I can't have save change because my script is renaming the VI, and that just creates a duplicate copy. So I still have 299 VIs. Now some of these are dynamic classes, so I'm going to search the classes to exclude item display. That is 42 VI classes that are dynamic, and I'll search in those results. Other classes are still left in the project, but they're not dynamically called. So I'm going to start renaming VIs with the controls. Now I can either filter by controls, I can search for controls, or I can sort by item type, which puts the controls first. You'll notice 3 of these controls are already selected. These dates are newer than the others because these three VIs had descriptions that were deleted earlier. These same controls were selected before I performed a filter, a search, and a sort. No other program I know of would be able to maintain a selection through three operations like that. Let's load my script. Set VI name to number. I have to point out this uses an INI file to keep track of the numbers. And if I delete it, it goes back to 1. Let's rename the controls. There's nothing to see here because the names aren't displayed. And they wouldn't be updated anyway because Property Inspector doesn't know what property is being changed. But the window title here shows the old name. And if I refresh it, it now shows the sequential numbers. Now let's invert the selection. Now here I could go back and delete the INI if I want to go back to 1 or change it to some other number. But I'm going to keep my numbering sequential. Now this process takes a while. I'm going to skip ahead. Okay, that's done. Now let's go back and refresh standard VIs. And let's see the names. Next, we're going to move on to renaming the terminals. I have a script for that. Rename front panel controls. We'll run that. This changes each control on each VI, controls and indicators, to the same name, underscore, and index. So they're not descriptive of what the function is of each control. So next I want to hide all terminals. Before I do that, I want to get rid of all classes. So I want to find all VIs where the class is blank. Search on those results. Only 87 VIs left. So to hide all terminals, I have a script. This sets all of the terminals to optional, which I can't do for the classes, but it makes them invisible on the help panel for all the sub-VIs. So next I want to hide front panel controls. Before I do that, I'm going to step back, go back to my previous exclusion. I have my 299 VIs, and I'm going to hide the front panel controls with a script on all of these. Now you'll notice that I'm hiding the front panel control of a control. That means when you open this control, you won't see anything. The only way to undo that is programmatically, since there's no corresponding terminal to click on to show the control to undo it. Next, I'm going to replace the icon. I call this duplicate icon because it actually has the icon that I want saved in the script. So it just takes its own icon and steps on the target VI. Saves me having to load it from a file each time. Number 8, I want to find all the VIs that have history text. Now, I'm not actually going to do a search for this. I'm just going to simply take all the VIs that I have selected now and remove them. This will reset the revision number at the same time. I could find history text and remove it, but then I have to select the other VIs that don't have history text to reset the revision. And it's easier to do those in one step. Okay, that's done. Item 10 on the list, I'm going to turn off the filter, which includes all of my tagged items. I'm going to select all again, and I'm going to save selected. This will actually update the date modified on all of the objects in my project, including the ones that I haven't modified today. That would make all the dates sequential in the time it takes to perform this operation. The last item, we'll go back to the main project and we'll choose Save All. This will save all of the items that weren't saved individually in Property Inspector. So I went back and I refreshed the entire list so you can see that the dates are now sequential. And some of the items didn't get modified because they were tagged for exclusion. I will go back now and turn off the sort. It's still sorted by item name, putting them back in the original view as shown in the project. No other program I know will do that. It's important to go back and make sure that the main application is not broken. If it were, there was a problem with our obfuscation. Thank you very much for watching, and if you'd like to get a copy of my scripts, just email me. I'll give them to anyone who buys Property Inspector. Thank you.